Welcome to RTOManager Web Basic Software Demonstration. Please note during this demonstration, I will cover the basic package of the system. The standard package and optional modules I will cover in a separate demonstration. RTOManager Web is a cloud-based solution developed by Mesh Group. It aims to assist educational institutes with their day-to-day business processes such as student enrollment, student management, and compliances. As Mesh RTOManager Web is a cloud-based solution, when you purchase the system, we don't have to install anything on your server. We will provide you with your own URL, login details, and opportunity to place your company logo and background stuff. Now, this is the public portal. We have not logged into the system, and you can see on the left we've got a few tabs. The tabs related to the basic system are the course list, the course offer intake list, and the application online tab. Now let's have a look at the course list. Now this is where you will be able to manage all your courses. When you set up your courses in the system, they will appear here in this course list. And you can manage any courses, accredited, non-accredited, full qualifications, unit of competency delivery, short courses. So the information here is going to be about the course code, the description of the course, the duration of the course, and the tuition fee. Once you have set up the courses, you will set up the course offer intake date. So students can actually filter on particular dates and can have a look at the intake calendar. So now let's have a look at one of those intakes. This is Diploma of Business, and we can see information in relation to the course codes, the description of the course, and where the course is taking place, in which state and which venue. Also, how the course has been delivered, whether it's a face-to-face or online course, and of course the intake start and finish date. The final tab is the online application. We have 4 steps embedded online application, which you can take this URL and we can link it with your website. Basically, you can ask your web developer to design a button, apply now, and you can link the application via this URL. So let's go and go through the application. Now, the first step is obviously you will put your terms and conditions in the system where students can review and accept. And the first step of the application is for students to put personal information. As you can see, the system is also integrated with usi.gov.au. So if the student has a USI number, the system will verify that number. It's not a compulsory at this stage. However, the system will be checking for USI through the entire student life cycle. And of course, at the end, before you issuing any certificates or statements of attainment, the system will check if USI has been placed into the system. The second step is about awareness information, cultural diversity, languages, previous education, and previous employment. You can also set up some custom fields either as a radio button or free text. This information will be not related to the awareness reporting. That will be only for business purposes. In step number 3, the student will be able to select the course and add it to the application. The student can add multiple courses to the same application by just simply repeating the same step. The next step is the student can review the application and edit the application if it's required or if he's made any mistakes and confirm the application. The final step is about submitting documents to support this application. These documents can be compulsory or non-compulsory documents. And if these documents are made compulsory, the students will have to submit those documents, otherwise will not be able to submit the application. The list of documents here is just for the purpose of the demonstration. However, you can create your own list of documents. Submitting this application will trigger two automatic emails, one to the student confirming his application has been submitted, and one to your admission department that to notify you that there is an application that needs to be reviewed. Now let's log into the system. I'm going to log as a super administration, which means I can see the entire functionality. This is the home page of Mesh RTOManager web, and as you can see, the layout is pretty simple with these drop-down menus. So basically, you can go from one step to another. We have on the left here a few shortcut buttons. News and reminders is a standard functionality for all systems, whether it's a basic or standard system. And of course, we've got this advertising banner, which you can use obviously for your purposes. Based on the system access level, the user will be able to see relevant functionality. If it's a finance, only finance-related functionality. If it's director of study, only director of study-related functionality. However, you are not restricted to provide one user with only one role, because for, let's say, for example, your small organization, you can provide multiple roles to one user. For example, somebody can be administration and student services, or administration and finance, and so on. Let's go back to the home button here and go to the wetness reporting. Now the system covers wetness reporting by state or national, and all states are available for reporting. Once you generate the NAT files, you can submit them to Enceiver, and you can also generate them in Excel, so you can archive that data or you can analyze that data. You can also generate smart and skill reports. The next step is administration. Now, as you can see, this is where you will be able to set up the system based on your business requirements, and you can set up email addresses for each individual department. When you communicate with your student, trainer, or staff, all outbound communication will be recorded in the communication log of each individual member. You can also communicate via SMS. We are working with third-party provider where you can open an account, buy SMS package, and then place the account details, so you can send SMSs from the system as well. On the right-hand side, you can set up by default enrollment fees. You can set up your own student ID and certificate ID. You can also set up custom fields where you can collect additional information. The next step is the course. Now, how do we set up the courses? This is going to happen usually initially when you start with the system, or every time when you introduce a new course. The first thing is, the system is integrated with training.gov.au, so as long as you know the course code, you can simply bring the course, as I'm doing it now. All fields will be pre-populated from training.gov.au in terms of the course code and a wetness reporting information, which helps you to avoid any mistakes when you set up your course and go through these drop-down menus here. Then you can obviously set up the course duration, the fee, and any additional information. Once you have set up the course, you can also set up a unit of competency delivery if you want. So this module delivery allows you to set up unit of competency. With the course, when you set up the course, first you will set up the course and the units, however, and then after the intake date. But with module delivery, you can just set up a unit of competency, and you can set up intake dates based on that. Going back to the course, the next step is to set up our modules. and units. Now, usually after the course setup, you will set up your units. However, we've got another additional layer, which is the module. And reason being is because the usual architecture, having a course on top and then after units and assessments, is one way. However, some clients may require to cluster units as core or elective under a module before they attach it to a course as a full qualification. So setting up a module is pretty straightforward. Again, through the integration through training.gov.au, all the information will be pre-populated in this field. As I said, if you want to create a cluster of core or elective units and attach this module for this course, you can do this through this functionality. Once you have brought the courses and the modules and the units, the next step is to put together the qualification. So you simply select the course and add the modules that you wish to attach to this qualification, exactly like done already here. The next step is, once we have put together the qualification, to set up the course offer intake date, and we can simply set up our intake date name. We can select the course. We can specify whether the course is going to be face-to-face or online. If it's a face-to-face, we're going to set up the intake start and finish date. If it is online, it's going to be always available on the intake date based on the current date. We can set up the capacity. And also you can manage here funded courses. You can set up your funded type selection as a course schedule, the contract schedule, cost, and the funded sources. In this case, we're talking about New South Wales. However, we cover all the states. So far, we reviewed how to enroll students, how to set up the system, how to set up our courses and qualifications. Now, let's have a look at how we manage student enrollment. Now, regardless of how students will be enrolled, whether they will be enrolled via the online application or they will come face-to-face to the college and get enrolled by the staff, so they can use enroll online by admin, they will come to this section here, manage enrollment. And as we can see here, we've got the students that have enrolled with their student ID, with obviously personal information, start and finish date of the course, and functionality in relation to manage this enrollment. Now, we can also bulk enroll students. If it's an existing student that wants to do another course, the system will recognize this student. If it's a new student, you can add in bulk personal information, and later on you can manage each individual student AVETMIS information and so on. So let's go back to the Manage Enrollment tab and find the new application AVEVA. And let's have a look at her application. So we review the application. We are happy with the application. If application needs to be edited, we can edit it from here. If ever wants to enroll in another course, we can add that course. All documents that are relevant to this application can be uploaded here, and any other documents that are relevant to EVA as well. The checklist is where we can check all compulsory documents that had to be submitted during the application process. If there's no compulsory documents, if there are documents that just need to be submitted later on, you can just upload those documents. And all outbound communication will be recorded in the diary automatically, and of course you can copy paste any other communication with EVA as well. Now, going back to this, we are happy with the application. We will approve this application, and automatically the system will open this screen. Now we are actually ready to send the offer letter. As you can see here, you can use also a user template, which you can set up yourself. So this could be templates in relation to application, offer letter, following up on students, doing any kind of announcements and so on. So let's take this template so we don't have to be typing all the time the same message for every single student. And we can also see that the offer letter is already automatically attached. Now, we spoke about these templates here. However, we've got some other templates like the offer letter, the certificate, and the statement of attainment. And those templates are basically non-editable PDF, which are integrated in the system, embedded in the database with dynamic fields. So basically, the system automatically will pick the right template and will attach it to the communication automatically, so you don't have to waste time creating Word documents, converting into a PDF, attaching them to communication. All is done for you via those templates. Now we send the offer letter to Eva, and the next thing is to Eva comes, obviously reviews the offer letter, confirms the offer letter, sends back the offer letter with the confirmation, and now we are ready to convert Eva's application to become a participant into the course, to become a student, and to start her life cycle, student life cycle. So what we're going to do is we will just simply generate her student ID. So the student ID is already preset initially by you, and just the system agent will generate the next available ID. And this is how Eva will move from an offer to a student. Approving students can be done also in bulk. So we can simply come and select all the students and then respectively send offer letters to all the students and generate student ID in bulk as well. So this basically is summarizing the process of enrollment. Now, next we will cover the student's life cycle, and we can have a look at the student profile. Now, this is the list of students, and let's go to one of the student profiles. On the left, you can place the student image, personal information in relation to the student, the course or multiple courses that the student is doing, and of course the communication that is relevant to this student. On the top here, this is the functionality which will allow you to manage the students during their student life cycle. And of course, we've got here academic summary of the units that the student has enrolled and what has passed or what has not passed. Going back to this functionality, by default, you will be communicating with the student via email or letter. And of course, you can send SMSs to the student via our third-party provider. How do we record results? Now, there's two ways of recording results. One is we're going to the student profile and we're selecting a particular unit, and we can give the student competency mark or not yet competent, withdrawn, RPL, credit transfer, and so on. And of course, we can add additional information in relation to that. The other way is to record these results in bulk. So we can come here, we can filter on a particular education. In terms of this is diploma of business, the intake, and of course we can bring the module or the modules that we want to record the competency mark. So we're bringing all the students and simply we're giving mark in bulk in terms of competent or not yet competent, withdrawn, RPL, or credit transfer. And of course, we can add additional information in relation to the units that we're recording here. Now, once we have recorded the final competency mark, we are ready to generate the certificate, and we can simply come here and we can generate all the certificates. So we can again filter on a particular course and intake, bring all the students, and simply generate the certificates. Now we can generate certificates, statement of attainment, statement of results. If the certificate has to have an expiry date, we can place the expiry date here. Once we have generated the certificates, we can send those documents, whether it's going to be a certificate or statement of attainment or statement of results. We can send it here in bulk to all the students. Please note, each individual student will get their certificate, so there will be no mix of all students getting one email with all the certificates attached. It's going to be to each individual student, each individual certificate attached. Now let's go back to the student profile. Next is the diary. This is where you will be recording all the communication and all the notes in relation to this student. All outbound communication automatically will be recorded in the system. And of course, there is a date and time stamp, and you can review all the communication that has happened. If ASQA decides to audit you, you can present this communication. You can type notes and record them here, and you can copy paste information from other sources into this folder here. Going back, the next is the documents repository. So basically, all documentation can be uploaded and archived here. So information like the student application, student offer, certificates, and everything else can be uploaded and archived here. The next is the sanctions. Basically, what you can do here is you can either block student account, or you can put a warning message in relation to why you're actually either blocking or just sending a warning to that particular student. And this is how we will be managing the student profile and the student lifecycle up to generating the certificates. Reporting probably is one of the most important parts of each business. And in Mesh RTOManager, we've got over 150 reports covering all departments. I will briefly highlight the reports. This is from accounts, applications, management, office, this is student office, and of course student services. Now, reports can be generated at any time you wish. And of course, these reports can be exported in Excel for you to review, analyze, filter, and so on. But not only that you can generate those reports in Excel, you can also send emails, either individual or in bulk, based on those reports. So what I mean is, if I come to the letter functionality, and I select, let's say, for example, student services, and bring this report. Now, as you can see here, based on this report, we've got the list of students, and this report can be exported in Excel or CSV, usually in Excel, which means that you can later on filter and analyze the data. But not only we can export in Excel, we can also set up our own template, and we can send an email based on this report. Let's say, for example, we've got 50 offers that we have received from students. However, 25 never got back to us. 25 students, we never received confirmation from those offers. So we can run a report on that, and we can send a follow-up. What happened? Would you like to commence the course, or do you require further information? So basically, we can communicate based on these reports. We can send reminders, we can send follow-ups, and so on. Now, from a reporting perspective, we can communicate with our students in bulk. Also, we can communicate via the mailing list functionality. The difference here is because previously we could run a report and send an email in bulk based on that report, but here is based on either student offer or class or a course and so on. So here we can send an email based on student class or student course. So all the students from one course, we can send them an email. For example, the teacher is sick, or the class is going to be moving from room 7 to room 10, or the class today is canceled. So any kind of communication, you can basically use this functionality. Also, you might want to send email in bulk in terms of the assessments and attach additional documentation as well. Again, you can communicate via a template. So in other words, you don't have to be typing every time you're communicating, so you can create multiple templates for different purposes. Reporting and communication concludes the meshed RTOManager basic demonstration. For further information, please visit www.meshgroup.com.au. You can come here to product, or you can call our sales team on 1300-543-512.